another live show. We are live once again, everyone. Sorry for the late night show this week. Got busy today, things going on. Welcome back to another episode of Martial Arts Movie Mondays. I'm your host, Bobby. If you've never seen our show before, first of all, shame on you. We're 20 episodes deep. We're still new on the show, obviously, but it's exclusive to our YouTube channel right here at Hollywood Matrimony. But we take a deep dive, or I take a dive into one of my movie collections up here. Try to focus on martial arts stuff. Usually we try to talk about a movie that not only to review the movie or talk about it or bring attention to the movie, but also maybe how it impacted my martial arts career or my martial arts life or my life in general. And there's a lot of them that have done that. Today's a little bit different. If you notice, normally at a show I'm wearing a full gi top body uniform because it's karate and martial arts. So I'm still wearing a shirt that's Asian. It's a Star Wars Asian shirt. The reason I'm wearing this shirt is because the movie we're doing is a little different. It's a martial arts movie, but it's also not a martial arts movie. So if you think about the martial arts genre, this probably isn't one that would immediately pop into your head, but it's a movie I really, really dig. And I found years ago when it came out, kind of on the fly from reading about it on a site like ours. I want to say it was probably ain'titcoolnews.com. I had posted something about it. I might be wrong, but I think that's who it was. Had posted something about it. So I'm like, I have to see this movie. I tracked it down. I think when it came on video, finally checked it out. I was like, oh my God, I was blown away. The movie I'm talking about is the 2002 film Equilibrium. If you never heard of Equilibrium, it's an action movie. It does have martial arts in it, but it's not a real martial art. It's a martial art called Gun Fu. Exactly what I said. Gun, like shooting up guns. Gun Fu. It was created specifically for the film. The movie stars a then relatively unknown Christian Bale. He had done, I believe, American Psycho. Maybe he might have done Shaft already. I don't remember. He'd done a bunch of other stuff when he was younger, but he wasn't the Christian Bale we know now. That's Batman and everything else. This is the movie that made me believe that he could play Batman. When they cast him as Batman, I'm like, at first I was like, whatever. And I remember seeing this movie and thinking that guy can be Batman. I don't remember, honestly, I don't remember what order I saw them in because I was late to the party on this movie. But anyway, when I saw him in this movie, I was like, that guy can be Batman or he can be an action star. Surprisingly, he didn't become an action star. He did the Batman movies, which were awesome, but he ended up being more of a dramatic actor. And now he's award-winning, great actor. He's got Ford versus Ferrari in theaters now. He's done a lot of great stuff. But anyway, so Equilibrium came out in 2002. It got a smaller release. It didn't get a big, wide release. I think it did massive money in the international market, so they kind of dropped it to more of a smaller release, straight to video, just because they didn't want to lose money. Was it Weinstein's? Dimension Films. So yeah, it was the Weinsteins. Bob Weinstein, Harvey Weinstein. But back then we didn't know about the controversy, or people knew, but it wasn't out. But nonetheless, that has nothing to do with the movie itself. But it also starred Taye Diggs, Emily Watson, I believe Sean Bean's in it, Dominic Purcell's in it. Who else? Let me see. Sean Pertwee, which I believe is the guy that played Alfred on Gotham. William Finchner, who I was a huge fan of. He's on Mom as a regular right now. Angus McFadden. So it's got a decent little group of people. But if you don't know anything about Equilibrium, let me see if I can find the short synopsis instead of reading the whole back of this thing. I'll read the back of this thing because this just seems more complete. I'm just going to read the back of the DVD here. Make sure had been rewound. It basically says, let me get past. It's a thrilling look into the future where our only crime is being human. In an attempt to end wars and maintain peace, mankind has outlawed things that trigger emotion, literature, music, and art. To uphold the law, a special breed of police is assigned to eliminate all transgressors. But when the top enforcer misses a dose of his emotion-blocking drug, he begins to realize that things are not as they seem. So essentially what happens is they have these little pills they take. There's a thing throughout the city. It tells them, hey, when it's time for everybody in the city to take their dose of whatever they're taking, it suppresses their emotions. So everybody's very straightforward. But, of course, there's also a little rebellion. When they find books and stuff, they torch them. If they hear music, they destroy them. And every so often you'll see somebody listen to it or play it. and it kind of gets some feelings in it, so they got to make sure they take their dose to keep rid of it. But then there's these guys that are clerics. I believe that's what they called them. The clerics are almost like these special forces knights, if you will, enforcers that they wear these cool black trench coats, very matrixy. They carry these guns. They're like this essential group that come in and they take out people that are transgressors. You know, they have the normal police forces, but the clerics are basically like the best of the best. And Christian Bale's character is one of the clerics. Taye Diggs' character is one of the clerics. And Taye Diggs' character is kind of what the up-and-coming cleric. He wants to be the big deal. Where Christian Bale's character is already like this legendary cleric who's like the badass. If he's around, you know everybody's going down. And then there's, of course, like a cleric that becomes part of the rebellion kind of deal. There's, you know, one of them starts having feelings, and then he's got to deal with it. It's the story itself is not something you haven't seen before in the direction of the way it plays out, as far as this guy has no emotions, but he starts having emotions and then is thinking, why can't we feel? And then because it makes him feel certain ways, it makes him want to do certain things. And of course, then he's got to rise up against the oppressors and that kind of thing. So, but where this movie shines is the martial art itself. Gun Fu was designed by the director, is it Wimmer? Yeah, Kurt Wimmer, who I think the only other movie he directed was Ultraviolet, which also showcased Gun Fu. I didn't like Ultraviolet as much as this one. I think that one kind of rode on the coattails, and I think he disowned the movie because the studios cut it up or something, is what I remember reading about. But this one it shines. It's kind of a darker movie. Once he gets into you get to see him do like a kata, the gun kata. And so you see him use the guns. So essentially, if you've never seen the movie, what Gun Fu is it's essentially they carry two guns or pretty large pistols. So when they go to fight, they do different things. So when they're shooting people, they're doing like this martial arts where they're twisting and they're shooting and they're doing. It's ridiculous as a real life idea, but it's awesome to watch on film. And there's moments where they're just killing people back and forth. There's some sword training montages where a couple of guys have some wooden bokens and they're training and they're fighting. There's some twists and turns to the stories. There's this whole thing that's kind of the old school good and bad, where, you know, all the guys, the clerics wear solid black, except for when, as kind of a spoiler, when Christian Bale has this big final moment, and he's going to rise up against the oppressors and goes in to fight them out, take on everybody. He's wearing like solid white, so it shows now you got the good guy in the white, the bad guy in the black. And there's a sequence where he's going through this. It's very reminiscent of the scene of Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool in what's it called? Is it Wolverine? X-Men Presents Wolverine. Is that what it's called? I don't remember. I think that's what it was called. Hold on. I'm going to look because now it's going to bother me if I don't know. It's right over there somewhere. Is it over there? X-Men Origins Wolverine. That's what it is. I know most people don't like that movie, but there's a scene in there where, before we got the proper Deadpool, where an elevator door opens up, Ryan Reynolds comes out with the swords. He does the Deadpool thing. He's chopping the guns, the bullets, and he's fighting people and killing everybody. There's a scene like that in this movie that obviously came first, and the elevator door opens and Christian Bale's there, and he just immediately comes running through, and he throws out these little gun cartridges, and they got like balls on the bottom of them, so they sit upright. So he goes and he's shooting everybody in the room, and then he stops and he hits the cartridge and he keeps going. It's one of the coolest scenes. It's just, this movie just offers up some just badass action in a different style, and there's some cool scenes of two people fighting, and you know they're both kind of like doing one step street, doing these kind of things. So some almost like watching an Ip Man fight, right, with Donnie Yen or maybe Sammo Hung, and they're fighting and their hands are moving, they're shifting and doing all the different things, but they have guns in their hands. So as they're doing it, they're shifting and the guns they're shooting. So it's like I might move my hand this way and the gun goes off over here, and then I shoot mine and I shoot him and it goes over here. I'm over here and they're shooting. So it's this really cool, just different style. It was something I hadn't seen before, something I thought was fun. It was just really cool to see how they use that in a way of blending in martial arts with the gun stuff to make something new and different. I was hoping that we might get to get another Equilibrium, explore this world a little bit differently. But it's kind of a movie that kind of stands on its own, because once they ended, it's kind of done its thing, right? It's not one that really impacted me as a standpoint of my real martial arts career. By this point, by 2002, I was already an instructor. I was already teaching my own classes. Excuse me. I think if anything, it just opened up my mind to the mentality of so many things you can do with the martial arts. I already knew that from watching Only the Strong and things like that, where expanded my horizons into training other things. But with this movie, this was like, man, you could take simple hand-to-hand techniques. You add a gun to it, and while ridiculous in real life, you do the same thing if you add a knife to it, or you add another weapon to it, or whatever. There's similar movements, and it expands it to something else. There's a video that I saw, I think it was recently, maybe within the last, might have been over this weekend, which is the reason that made me want to do this movie for today's episode. It was a guy looking at a target, and it had like a stick sticking off of it or something. I don't know. And he's essentially doing gun fu. He's right in front of the target. He's shooting it. Then he's doing like this, shoot it. But what he's doing is he's practicing like close combat killing. So like deflecting and shooting somebody, deflecting, shoot. He's doing it in a way that's incredibly dangerous. Easily could have ricocheted and killed him, shot himself, whatever. It was a stupid video. But immediately watching it, I was like, oh my God, this guy's doing gun fu. And it makes me wonder, did he see the movie and do that because of that? Or is he just crazy? Either way, the 2002 flick Equilibrium is an awesome action flick. Ebner Roper gave it 2 thumbs up back in the day. Richard Roper says it's got spectacular gun battles and fight scenes. Who says on the front? Somebody says, forget the Matrix. This movie will blow you away. In a future, freedom is outlawed. Outlaws will become heroes. But yeah, so it's actually a fun little movie. It's not one, like I said. Doesn't have a lot of special features, at least on this release. I don't know if it's been released on Blu-ray or not. I only have the DVD, and I've watched it numerous times. But it only has some commentaries with the producer and the writer-director. Finding Equilibrium, which I'm assuming is like a behind-the-scenes featurette. But yeah, it's a great little action movie. It's not your stereotypical martial arts film, but because it has a martial arts in it, it was not a real martial art per se. It was created for the film, but it's still there, and it's a hell of a lot of fun to watch. So if you want to see some younger days Christian Bale, before Christian Bale was the big award-winning actor that we've got today, he's really good in this movie too. The way he carries it, not having the emotions and bringing the character to life. All the action in this movie, from what I've read, is none of it's done with wire work. It's all real life stuff. So if you see somebody doing something crazy, they figured out a stunt way of doing it without using wire work. I read that Kurt Wimmer, is it Wimmer? Wimmer. Kurt Wimmer, the writer-director, created gun fu in his backyard just for this film. Like I said, he also carried it in the movie Ultraviolet. So if you want to check that out. But anyway, 2002's Equilibrium. It's a fun action flick. It's got gun fu. If you've never heard of gun fu, now's your time to check it out. So make sure you go find you a copy of this. I don't know if it's on Netflix or anything else, but check it out. I'm sure it is. It's old enough that it's probably on either Netflix or you probably rent it on Hulu or whatever. So anyway, I love this movie. It's a great fun movie. Equilibrium. Taye Diggs, Christian Bale, fun action, cool twists, some great cheese dialogues of the moment somebody starts feeling and they're ready to kick everyone's ass. I love this movie. So that's it for today. It's a short show, but just thank you for watching. Check out Equilibrium. I'll see if I can find the trailer or slap it up here. But make sure you check out tomorrow's episode of TV Tuesdays, where me and the missus will be talking about a bunch of new shows, as well as maybe some old stuff. I think we got a lot of stuff to talk about tomorrow, so we'll see how that happens. And I think we'll be able to do it in the middle of the day, not have to do it at night like this one is. I apologize for doing a night show. And then show back up for all new episode of Hollywood Matrimony live on Sunday, right here on our YouTube channel, as well as over on our Facebook page. And then obviously circle back next Monday for another episode of Martial Arts Movie Mondays. We'll be talking about another movie from my collection back here. I don't know when. If you have a specific martial arts movie that you want to hear me talk about, send me a message, slap it in the comments, do whatever you want. But just let me know. I have a ton to get to. I can fill up at least 100, 200 shows before we run out. even before anything new comes out. So please, 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 if you have something specific, if I don't own it, I will find it. I will talk about it, give you my opinions, and who knows, it may be one of my favorites. And I have a lot of them. I don't normally like people that say everything's my favorite, but I can't choose them apart. It's just my thing. I don't know what I can't know what to tell you. So anyway, be sure to check out that next episode. And once again, as always, we apologize. We haven't got to Gymkata, but one day this will be the feature on this show, and we'll talk all about the world of Gymkata. And hopefully it'll be an episode that the wife is on so she can talk about her first time experiencing Gymkata, which she has not had yet. So we must talk about it. But for now, thank you for watching. Make sure you please hit that subscribe button below. Check out our website, HollywoodMatrimony.com. We have all news, movie reviews, giveaways, all kinds of stuff. You can check us out on the Twitter at Hollywood Matter, MATR. Check us out on the Facebook, Hollywood Matrimony, and the Instagram, Hollywood Matrimony. And again, hit that subscribe button below. Hit the subscribe button over here. Check out hopefully I can get the Equilibrium trailer over here. But if I don't, see whatever other trailer pops up. And thank you for watching. See you next time. Tell your friends. And remember, as always, keep your hands up. Talk to you soon.